If you've been scrolling through endless lists of tankless water heaters, watching video after video, and still feel stuck between cheap but flaky and expensive but overkill, this review is here to clear the fog. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I've spent the last few weeks digging into how a modern condensing unit actually lives in a real home, pulling apart the specs, the installation stories, and the handful of user comments that make up its 4.3-star rating from over 3,000 owners. First off, the biggest hesitation most people have isn't about the price tag, it's about the fear of walking into a shower and getting a cold splash because the heater can't keep up. With a traditional tank, you know exactly how long you have before the stored water runs out. With a tankless, the promise is never run out, but that promise only holds if the unit can match the flow you need at the temperature you want. The Rinnai RX160iN tries to solve that by being a condensing, SmartSense model that adjusts its output on the fly, and it does it in a footprint that would fit in a closet rather than a whole basement. What does condensing really buy you? In a nutshell, it recovers heat that would normally be lost in the exhaust, pushing overall gas efficiency up into the high 90s percentile. In a home that does multiple loads, say a family of 4 where one kid is taking a quick shower, the dishwasher is running, and someone else is washing hands, the extra efficiency means you're burning less natural gas for the same amount of hot water. Over a year, that can shave a noticeable chunk off the utility bill, especially if you live in a colder climate where you need hotter inlet water to begin with. The SmartSense part isn't just a gimmick. It uses a flow sensor to detect how much water is passing through and ramps the burner up or down accordingly. In practice, that means you get a steadier temperature when you turn the faucet on slowly versus when you open the shower full blast. I watched a homeowner set the shower to a gentle rain setting and then suddenly switch to a full-pressure jet. The unit kept the water within a couple of degrees of the set point, instead of the sudden dip you sometimes see with cheaper models. For anyone who hates that momentary shock of lukewarm water, that's a real quality of life win. Now, who should actually consider buying the RX160iN? If you own a single-family home with a gas line that can handle at least a 1-inch pipe, you're in the sweet spot. The unit is designed for residential use and comes with a warranty that covers the core components, so you're not left hanging after a few years of service. Families that run simultaneous appliances, think a bathtub fill while the washing machine is on, or multiple showers during a weekend gathering, will appreciate the never run out claim because the unit's flow capacity is high enough to handle those peaks without a noticeable drop in temperature. On the flip side, if you're renting an apartment, live in a tiny condo with limited space for a gas line, or simply don't want to deal with a professional installation, this might not be the best fit. The RX160iN is a gas-fired system, which means you'll need a proper venting arrangement and a gas line sized to its demand. Rinnai recommends a professional install for safety and to ensure the unit reaches its advertised efficiency. That installation can add a few $1,000s to the total cost, so if your budget is tight or you're hoping to DIY, you might be better off with a smaller electric point-of-use heater that can be plugged in under a sink. Speaking of installation, that's one of the hidden trade-offs that trips up a lot of buyers. The unit is compact compared to a traditional boiler, but you still need to allocate space for the vent pipe, a shut-off valve, and clearance for service. In a home where the gas furnace already lives in a cramped mechanical closet, you might end up reconfiguring that space just to make room. The professional who came to my friend's house told me that the biggest surprise was the need for a condensate drain, a small but essential piece that captures the water produced by the condensing process. Forgetting to plan for that can lead to water damage over time. Another practical consideration is the upfront cost versus long-term savings. The RX160iN sits at a higher price point than basic tankless models, but you're paying for that condensing efficiency and the smart control board that continuously optimizes performance. If you compare the annual gas consumption of a standard non-condensing tankless unit in the same home, you'll see a difference of roughly 1,015% in fuel use. Over 5 years, that can start to balance out the higher initial expense, especially if your local gas rates are on the rise. What about maintenance? Like any gas appliance, you'll need to flush the system once a year to prevent mineral buildup, particularly if you have hard